Success is a dangerous drug. It starts as a reward for your hard work. But if left unchecked, it transforms into a blinding fog. We have all seen it happen. The CEO who stops listening to his team because he believes he has the Midas touch, only to drive the company into the ground. The artist who refuses to edit her work because she thinks she is a genius and slowly becomes irrelevant. The leader who surrounds himself with yes men and loses touch with reality. This is not just a personality flaw, it is a systemic failure of the soul. The Greeks called it hubris. The Bible calls it pride. In the modern world, we might call it the God complex or ego blindness. It is the moment you start believing your own press release. It is the moment you stop looking up at what you don't know and start looking down at what you think you have conquered. Today, we are going to explore the architecture of humility. We are not talking about a weak, bowing your head kind of humility. We are talking about a powerful, strategic humility, the kind that keeps you sharp, hungry, and connected to reality. To build this defense system against arrogance, we will consult the four greatest masters of human psychology: Socrates, Buddha, Confucius, and Jesus. They teach us that true humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is thinking of yourself less. Let us begin with the intellectual defense, guided by Socrates. The trap of arrogance often begins in the mind. You acquire a degree, you master a skill, you make money, and you begin to think, I know how the world works. This certainty is the death of growth. Socrates, the man the Oracle of Delphi called the wisest in Athens, did not claim wisdom. He claimed ignorance. He walked the streets engaging generals, politicians, and poets, dismantling their certainty with simple questions. He realized that while others thought they knew things, he knew that he didn't know. The Socratic execution for avoiding arrogance is the practice of active doubt. It is the daily habit of auditing your own certainty. When you are in a meeting and you feel the urge to shut someone down because you know better, stop. Summon Socrates. Ask yourself, what if I am missing a crucial piece of data? What is the counter-argument to my strongest belief? To execute this tomorrow, adopt the rule of the dumbest person in the room. Even if you are the boss, enter every conversation, assuming there is something to learn from the intern, the janitor, or the critic. By intentionally positioning yourself as a student, you inoculate your mind against the calcification of pride. Next, we move to the emotional defense guided by the Buddha. Why do we get arrogant? Often it is a defense mechanism. We build a massive ego to protect a fragile self. We attach our identity to our achievements. I am a vice president. I am a millionaire. I am an influencer. When you attach yourself to these temporary labels, you become defensive and proud because you are terrified of losing them. The Buddha teaches the concept of anatta, or no self. He taught that the ego is an illusion, a construct of passing thoughts and feelings. Arrogance is simply the ego trying to solidify itself, trying to say, I am permanent, I am important. The Buddhist execution is ego detachment. Imagine your success is a coat you wear. It is a nice coat. It keeps you warm. People admire it, but you are not the coat. At the end of the day, you must take it off. If you think you are the coat, you will look down on people who don't have one. To execute this practice, the graveyard meditation. It sounds morbid, but it is liberating. Remind yourself regularly that you will die. Your awards will rust. Your money will be dispersed. In 100 years, no one will know your name. This realization destroys arrogance instantly. It leaves only gratitude for the brief moment of life you have. You stop trying to be a god and start enjoying being a human. Now we need a social defense. How do we act with humility in a hierarchy? This brings us to Confucius. Confucius lived in a time of chaos and emphasized Li, ritual, and Ren, benevolence. He taught that society functions only when we recognize our interconnectedness. Arrogance breaks the social fabric because it says, I am above the rules. I am separate from you. The arrogant person treats equals with respect, but treats subordinates with disdain. They yell at the waiter. They ignore the receptionist. Confucius teaches that true nobility is found in how we treat those who can do nothing for us. The Confucian execution is ritualized respect. It is the discipline of elevating others. When you receive a compliment, instead of soaking it up like a sponge, deflect the light onto your team. I could not have done this without Sarah's research. This was a team effort. To execute this, make it a habit to be the last one to speak in a meeting. Listen first. Give credit publicly and take blame privately. By ritually lowering yourself, you actually elevate your authority. People follow leaders who serve them, not leaders who use them. Finally, we arrive at the spiritual defense. The posture of the heart, taught by Jesus. The ultimate antidote to pride is service. Jesus, considered by his followers to be the King of Kings, performed the most menial task of a slave, washing the dusty, dirty feet of his disciples. He flipped the pyramid of power upside down. The greatest among you will be your servant. Arrogance says, serve me. Humility says, how can I serve you? This is not just moral advice. It is profound leadership psychology. Arrogance isolates you. Service connects you. The execution here is secret service. Do good things that no one will ever know about. Pick up the trash in the hallway when no one is looking. Help a colleague finish a project and let them take the credit. Why secret? Because if you do it publicly, your ego will turn it into a performance. Look how humble I am. That is just arrogance in a disguise. But when you serve in secret, you kill the ego's need for applause. You train your heart to find joy in the act of giving itself, rather than the recognition it brings. So let us synthesize this into a modern protocol for killing pride. You have had a win. You feel the rush of success. You feel the God complex creeping in. Stop. First, use Socrates. Ask, what do I still not know? Remind yourself that your knowledge is a drop in the ocean. Second, use Buddha. Take off the coat of success. Remember your mortality. Realize you are not your title. Third, use Confucius. Look at the people around you. Elevate them. Speak less. Treat the lowest ranking person with the highest respect. Fourth, use Jesus. Find a towel and wash some feet. Do a thankless task. Serve without seeking a return. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is thinking of yourself less. It is the quiet confidence that needs no applause. It is the open window through which wisdom enters. The moment you think you have arrived, you have already begun to fall. Stay hungry. Stay foolish. Stay humble.